A breathtaking royal moment has sent shockwaves through palace watchers and reignited debate across the world.
At first glance, it looked like another glittering royal evening filled with tradition, diplomacy, and carefully choreographed ceremony. But palace watchers quickly noticed something far more significant. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared wearing one of the most emotionally charged tiaras in royal history, attention shifted instantly. Was this simply a glamorous appearance, or was the future queen sending a message the entire world was meant to see? Royal history has always operated on two levels. There is the public version that audiences see through official photographs, televised ceremonies, and carefully planned appearances. Then there is the symbolic version, the quieter language spoken through seating arrangements, wardrobe choices, inherited jewels, and traditions that often communicate far more than official statements ever could. That is exactly why Catherine, Princess of Wales, captured such extraordinary attention the moment Catherine, Princess of Wales, entered Windsor Castle wearing Queen Mary's lover's knot tiara, a royal treasure forever connected to Diana, Princess of Wales. For millions watching around the world, the image felt instantly historic, but the larger question was not about the diamonds themselves. The larger question was why this particular appearance felt so important at this specific moment in the monarchy's evolution. What makes this story especially fascinating is that Catherine, Princess of Wales, was not merely attending another royal function. The appearance arrived after a period that had fundamentally changed public perception of Catherine, Princess of Wales. Following months of health challenges, public concern, and a long recovery journey that generated headlines across the United Kingdom, the United States, Canada, and Australia, many royal observers had been watching carefully for signs of how Catherine, Princess of Wales, would approach a fuller return to royal life. Would Catherine, Princess of Wales, resume duties gradually? Would Catherine, Princess of Wales, avoid the most visible royal events? Or would Catherine, Princess of Wales, step directly back into the center of royal affairs with the confidence expected of a future queen? The answer appeared to arrive the moment those cameras began recording. Yet this is where the story becomes more intriguing. Royal wardrobes are rarely accidental. Every designer, every color, every jewel, and every historical reference is typically examined from multiple angles before a major state occasion. Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace understand perfectly well that symbolism matters because symbolism shapes perception. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, selected the lover's knot tiara, royal commentators immediately recognized the deeper significance. This was not simply one of the most beautiful tiaras within the royal family collection. This was the same iconic piece that became closely associated with Diana, Princess of Wales, whose legacy continues to influence public attitudes toward the monarchy decades later. By choosing a jewel connected to Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth II, and Diana, Princess of Wales, Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared to place herself within a continuous story stretching across generations of royal women. But was that connection intended merely as a tribute to history, or was something larger being communicated? Think about that for a moment. If the goal had been simple elegance, countless other royal jewels could have accomplished exactly the same objective. If the goal had been diplomatic presentation, almost any state banquet tiara would have been appropriate. So why choose the piece that instantly triggers memories of Diana, Princess of Wales? Why choose the tiara most strongly associated with continuity, public affection, and royal legacy? And why do you think palace watchers immediately began discussing succession, stability, and the future of the monarchy rather than simply talking about fashion? The timing makes those questions even harder to ignore. At a moment when King Charles III continues guiding the institution through a period of significant transition, the visibility of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, has become increasingly important. Every major appearance by Prince William, the future king, now attracts heightened attention because audiences are no longer viewing Prince William solely as the Prince of Wales. Increasingly, audiences are viewing Prince William as the monarch-in-waiting. The same dynamic applies to Catherine, Princess of Wales. Many royal supporters no longer see Catherine, Princess of Wales, merely as a senior working royal. Instead, many see Catherine, Princess of Wales, as the future queen whose public role is steadily expanding with each passing year. And that brings us to another fascinating detail. Observers repeatedly noted that Catherine, Princess of Wales, did not appear tentative or cautious during the event. Quite the opposite. The public image projected throughout the evening was one of confidence, composure, and assurance. Those qualities matter because royal authority often depends less on formal power and more on public confidence. Monarchies survive when they convince people that continuity exists between generations. They survive when audiences believe the institution remains stable regardless of challenges occurring behind the scenes. In that sense, Catherine, Princess of Wales, may have been communicating something far more valuable than glamour. Catherine, Princess of Wales, may have been communicating reassurance. But if reassurance was part of the message, another question immediately emerges. Why did so much attention quickly shift away from the banquet itself and toward the reactions unfolding around Catherine, Princess of Wales? Why were viewers replaying brief interactions, subtle expressions, and seemingly ordinary moments between senior royals? And could those small details reveal something much more significant about the changing balance of influence inside the royal family? Because what happened next would transform a beautiful royal appearance into one of the most analyzed royal moments of the year. Before we uncover that surprising development, make sure you subscribe to the channel and join our growing community of royal watchers, because the next part of the story introduces a brief exchange that sparked debate across the world and left many people asking whether a simple glance revealed far more than anyone expected. The image of Catherine, Princess of Wales, wearing the lover's not tiara was already dominating headlines, yet what transformed the evening from a memorable royal appearance into a global talking point was not the tiara itself. Instead, attention began shifting toward something far less obvious and far more intriguing. Within hours, viewers were replaying footage, analyzing expressions, and debating a brief interaction involving Queen Camilla and Catherine, Princess of Wales. In a royal institution where every movement is scrutinized and every public appearance carries symbolic meaning, even a fleeting glance can become the center of an international conversation. But what exactly were people seeing, and why did such a small moment generate such an enormous reaction? The fascination stemmed from the fact that both women represented different chapters of the modern monarchy. Queen Camilla arrived at the state banquet, wearing magnificent sapphire jewels associated with Queen Elizabeth II, reinforcing continuity with the recent past and emphasizing the authority of the current reign. Catherine, Princess of Wales, meanwhile, arrived wearing the lover's not tiara, a piece forever linked to Diana, Princess of Wales, and increasingly associated with the future of the royal family. For many royal observers, the visual contrast was impossible to ignore. On one side stood Queen Camilla, the queen consort whose position had been earned through decades of public scrutiny and gradual acceptance. On the other side stood Catherine, Princess of Wales, whose popularity has steadily grown to extraordinary levels while preparing for a future role that many believe will define the next era of the monarchy. When those two narratives occupied the same room, was it inevitable that people would begin looking for deeper meaning? What made the discussion even more intense was the speed with which interpretations emerged. Some commentators suggested Queen Camilla appeared reflective as Catherine, Princess of Wales, entered the room. Other observers argued that Queen Camilla may simply have been admiring the historic significance of the occasion. Still others believed viewers were projecting meaning onto an entirely ordinary moment. Yet that explanation raises another question. If the moment was completely routine, why did so many experienced royal watchers continue discussing it days later? Why were newspapers, broadcasters, and social media commentators dissecting a few seconds of footage as though something larger had been revealed? Part of the answer may lie in the unique power of Diana, Princess of Wales, whose legacy remains deeply embedded within public consciousness. Decades after Diana, Princess of Wales, transformed the image of modern royalty, the public still responds emotionally whenever symbols associated with Diana, Princess of Wales, reappear. The lover's knot tiara is not simply a royal jewel. The lover's knot tiara functions almost like a historical bridge connecting generations. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, wears that particular piece, many viewers do not see only Catherine, Princess of Wales. Many viewers simultaneously remember Diana, Princess of Wales, Queen Elizabeth II, and even the broader evolution of the monarchy itself. Could that emotional connection explain why Catherine, Princess of Wales, commands such extraordinary attention whenever the lover's not tiara appears? Yet another layer of complexity emerges when Prince William, the future king, enters the picture. Throughout recent years, Prince William has increasingly assumed responsibilities that place Prince William closer to the center of national and international attention. Every diplomatic engagement, every state visit, and every major ceremonial event now serves as a reminder that Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, represent the future leadership of the monarchy. Because of that reality, appearances once viewed as routine now carry additional significance. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, steps into a state banquet wearing one of the most historically meaningful tiaras in royal history, observers naturally wonder whether Buckingham Palace is gradually preparing public perception for the next chapter. Do you think the public is already beginning to view Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, as the monarchy's future center of gravity? The symbolism becomes even more fascinating when viewed against Catherine, Princess of Wales's personal journey. Only a short time earlier, public discussion surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales, focused largely on health updates, recovery, and uncertainty. Now the conversation had shifted dramatically toward leadership, visibility, and royal influence. Such transformations rarely happen by accident inside the royal family. Public images matter because public images shape narratives, and narratives ultimately shape confidence in institutions. By returning to one of the monarchy's grandest stages, wearing a jewel connected to some of the most influential royal women in modern history, Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared to be communicating resilience without ever speaking a word. That ability to communicate through symbolism rather than speeches has long been one of the monarchy's most powerful tools. However, this is where the story takes an even more interesting turn. The conversation was no longer only about Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Queen Camilla. Increasingly, discussion began focusing on what royal jewels themselves represent inside the monarchy. Why does one tiara carry associations with destiny, while another symbolizes established authority? Why do certain jewels instantly generate emotional reactions, while others receive far less attention? And perhaps most importantly, why do royal households continue relying on symbolism in an age dominated by social media, instant communication, and 24-hour news coverage? The answer may reveal something fundamental about how the royal family maintains continuity across generations. Because within royal circles, jewels are rarely decoration. Jewels function as history, memory, authority, and identity, all wrapped into a single public image. Every tiara carries stories of triumph, challenge, succession, and transformation. Every appearance creates new interpretations layered upon older ones. And when Catherine, Princess of Wales, and Queen Camilla stand side by side wearing treasures connected to different eras of royal history, audiences inevitably begin comparing not only the women themselves, but also the futures those symbols appear to represent. So before we continue, take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, was simply honoring royal tradition, or do you think the appearance carried a deeper message about the future of the monarchy? And if you are enjoying this royal deep dive, be sure to subscribe to the channel because the next part of the story explores the hidden language of royal jewels, revealing why diamonds, sapphires, and historic tiaras may be communicating far more than Buckingham Palace ever says publicly. What makes royal jewels so fascinating is that they often tell two stories at the same time. The first story is the one everyone sees, a dazzling display of diamonds, pearls, and precious stones presented beneath crystal chandeliers during state banquets and royal ceremonies. The second story is far more intriguing because it exists beneath the surface, hidden within history, symbolism, and the carefully managed language of the monarchy itself. That hidden story is exactly where attention began to move after Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared wearing the lover's not tiara. The discussion was no longer simply about Catherine, Princess of Wales, returning to royal life. The discussion had evolved into something much larger. What exactly was the monarchy communicating through its most visible future queen, and why did every detail suddenly seem loaded with meaning? To understand why this moment resonated so deeply, it is important to understand how royal symbolism actually works. Unlike political leaders who often communicate through speeches, interviews, and policy announcements, senior members of the royal family frequently communicate through appearances, traditions, and visual messaging. Every state banquet, every balcony appearance, and every ceremonial occasion becomes part of a carefully constructed narrative. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, selected the lovers not Tiara, Catherine, Princess of Wales was choosing a piece of history that linked Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth II, and Diana, Princess of Wales in a single uninterrupted chain. That chain matters because continuity remains one of the monarchy's most valuable assets. But do you think viewers consciously recognize these symbols, or do these images influence public perception on a deeper level without audiences even realizing it? The answer may become clearer when comparing Catherine, Princess of Wales, with Queen Camilla. Although Queen Camilla and Catherine, Princess of Wales, frequently appear together during major royal occasions, the symbolism surrounding each woman is remarkably different. Queen Camilla represents a role achieved through perseverance, adaptation, and gradual acceptance over many years. Catherine, Princess of Wales, represents anticipation, preparation, and future leadership. When Queen Camilla appears wearing jewels associated with Queen Elizabeth II, the message often emphasizes institutional continuity and present authority. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, appears wearing jewels associated with Diana, Princess of Wales, the message often points toward legacy, public affection, and the future. Neither message is stronger than the other, yet both reveal different dimensions of how the monarchy presents itself to the world. This contrast becomes even more fascinating when viewed through the lens of public expectations. Few figures within the modern royal family carry expectations as significant as those surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales. Since marrying Prince William, the future king, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has gradually transitioned from a popular royal newcomer into one of the institution's most trusted public figures. Every year has brought greater responsibility, greater visibility, and greater scrutiny. Yet despite those pressures, Catherine, Princess of Wales, has generally maintained a reputation for stability and composure. That reputation became especially important during recent years because periods of uncertainty often increase public demand for reassuring leadership. Could this explain why so many people viewed Catherine, Princess of Wales's appearance as more than a fashion moment and more as a statement about resilience and readiness? But here is where the story becomes even more compelling. Royal historians frequently note that some objects eventually become larger than the individuals who wear them. The lover's not tiara may be one of those rare objects. Originally commissioned by Queen Mary more than a century ago, the tiara has survived dramatic changes within the monarchy, multiple reigns, evolving public expectations, and some of the most significant moments in modern royal history. When Diana, Princess of Wales, wore the tiara, it became associated with glamour, compassion, and international celebrity. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, wears the same tiara today, the public naturally draws comparisons, even when those comparisons are never explicitly encouraged. The result is a fascinating blend of memory and expectation that few royal jewels can achieve. Why do you think certain royal symbols endure across generations while others quietly fade into history? What is particularly remarkable is how Catherine, Princess of Wales, has gradually created a distinct identity while still respecting those historical connections. Royal observers often point out that Catherine, Princess of Wales, rarely attempts to imitate Diana, Princess of Wales, directly. Instead, Catherine, Princess of Wales, appears to honor the legacy of Diana, Princess of Wales, while establishing a separate public image centered on steadiness, professionalism, and modern royal duty. This balancing act is not easy because public affection for Diana, Princess of Wales, remains extraordinarily powerful even decades later. Yet Catherine, Princess of Wales, has managed to navigate that challenge with notable success, creating a role that feels respectful of the past while remaining firmly focused on the future. That future, of course, revolves around Prince William, the future king. As King Charles III continues leading the monarchy through a changing era, public attention increasingly shifts toward what comes next. Every major engagement involving Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, inevitably generates discussion about succession, continuity, and long-term stability. State banquets, diplomatic receptions, and ceremonial occasions therefore carry importance beyond the immediate event itself. These occasions function as public demonstrations of preparedness. They allow audiences to observe the individuals who will eventually inherit some of the most visible responsibilities within the institution. When Catherine, Princess of Wales, commands attention during such events, many observers interpret that visibility as evidence that the monarchy's next generation is steadily assuming a more central role. Yet another question soon emerges. If Catherine, Princess of Wales, is increasingly becoming the public face of the monarchy's future, how does that affect the balance of attention within the wider royal family? How do senior royals navigate a situation where public fascination naturally gravitates toward the next generation while the current reign remains firmly in place? And could those shifting dynamics explain why seemingly ordinary moments between senior royals generate such extraordinary levels of analysis? Those questions become even more important when examining what happened inside the ballroom itself. Because according to many royal commentators, the most revealing aspect of the evening was not a speech, not a diplomatic announcement, and not even a royal jewel. Instead, the most revealing detail may have been the way attention appeared to organize itself around Catherine, Princess of Wales, throughout the event. Before we explore that remarkable development, take a moment to share your thoughts below. Do you believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, was intentionally sending a message through the lover's not tiara, or do you think royal watchers are reading too much into the symbolism? And if you are enjoying this deep exploration of royal history, royal power, and royal tradition, make sure you subscribe to the channel because the next chapter uncovers how influence inside a royal ballroom can be communicated without a single word ever being spoken, and why some observers believe that what happened that evening revealed far more about the future of the monarchy than anyone expected. As discussions surrounding Catherine, Princess of Wales, continued to grow, attention gradually shifted away from the tiara itself and towards something far more subtle. Royal observers began focusing on the atmosphere inside the ballroom, the arrangement of attention, and the way influence seemed to flow naturally throughout the evening. Unlike political institutions, where authority is often measured through speeches, votes, or official announcements, royal influence frequently reveals itself through quieter signals. A glance, a conversation, a seating arrangement, or even the direction in which cameras turn can reveal more than an entire press release. That is why many experienced palace watchers became fascinated not only by what Catherine, Princess of Wales, wore, but by how Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared to command the room itself. Could the evening have revealed something important about the monarchy's future without a single royal ever mentioning succession, leadership, or power? What makes this question especially interesting is that royal events are designed with extraordinary precision. Every guest list, every introduction, and every ceremonial detail is planned months in advance. Yet despite that careful structure, certain individuals naturally become focal points. During this particular state occasion, many observers noted that conversations seemed to gravitate toward Catherine, Princess of Wales. Photographs released after the event repeatedly placed Catherine, Princess of Wales, near world leaders, senior diplomats, and key figures attending the banquet. Of course, that visibility is not unusual for the Princess of Wales. However, what attracted attention was the confidence and ease with which Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared to occupy that role. After a period in which public concern centered on health and recovery, Catherine, Princess of Wales, now appeared entirely comfortable on one of the monarchy's most prestigious stages. Do you think public confidence in Catherine, Princess of Wales, has become one of the monarchy's greatest strengths? The role of Prince William, the future king, adds another fascinating dimension to the story. Throughout the evening, Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, projected an image that many commentators described as remarkably unified. Within royal institutions, appearances matter because appearances often shape perception. The sight of Prince William, the future king, standing alongside Catherine, Princess of Wales, reinforced a narrative that has been steadily developing for years. Increasingly, public attention is not focused solely on the current reign of King Charles III. Increasingly, audiences are imagining what comes next. Every appearance by Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, becomes an opportunity for viewers to evaluate the monarchy's future leadership. When audiences witness confidence, stability, and composure, public reassurance often follows. But could that growing focus on Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, also be changing the internal dynamics of royal attention? This is where symbolism becomes extraordinarily powerful. Many royal historians argue that visibility itself functions as a form of influence within constitutional monarchies. Unlike elected leaders who campaign for authority, senior royals derive influence largely from public trust and recognition. The more a figure embodies continuity, responsibility, and stability, the more attention naturally follows. Catherine, Princess of Wales, has spent more than a decade carefully building that reputation. From early engagements as Kate Middleton to major diplomatic events as Catherine, Princess of Wales, the transformation has been gradual rather than dramatic. That gradual progression may explain why audiences increasingly associate Catherine, Princess of Wales, with reliability and long-term continuity. Such perceptions are difficult to manufacture because they emerge over years of consistent public behavior. Yet another question soon emerges. If Catherine, Princess of Wales, represents the monarchy's future, what role does Queen Camilla occupy within that same public narrative? The answer reveals one of the most fascinating contrasts within the modern royal family. Queen Camilla and Catherine, Princess of Wales, occupy different positions within the institution's timeline. Queen Camilla symbolizes the present reign and the stability surrounding King Charles III. Catherine, Princess of Wales, symbolizes preparation for the next era. Neither role competes with the other, yet public attention often compares them because both women stand near the center of royal life. During major ceremonies, audiences naturally search for clues about hierarchy, succession, and influence, even when no official message exists. That tendency explains why a simple interaction or brief expression can become the subject of endless analysis. What makes the situation even more intriguing is the way public memory influences royal perception. Queen Camilla's journey into public acceptance was long and often challenging. Catherine, Princess of Wales, followed a dramatically different path, steadily earning admiration through years of visible service and carefully managed public appearances. As a result, the public often views Queen Camilla and Catherine, Princess of Wales, through entirely different emotional lenses. One story centers on persistence and adaptation. The other centers on preparation and anticipation. When those narratives intersect during major royal events, viewers frequently interpret even ordinary moments through those larger stories. Could that be why the state banquet generated such extraordinary interest far beyond its diplomatic purpose? Perhaps the most revealing aspect of the evening was that no dramatic event actually occurred. There were no disagreements, no controversies, and no official announcements that changed the direction of the monarchy. Instead, the fascination emerged from perception itself. Observers were not responding to a crisis. Observers were responding to symbolism. The image of Catherine, Princess of Wales, wearing the lover's knot tiara while confidently participating in one of the monarchy's most important ceremonial occasions, seemed to crystallize something many people already felt. The future queen was no longer viewed primarily as a future figure. Increasingly, Catherine, Princess of Wales, was being viewed as an active and essential part of the monarchy's present identity. That shift in perception may ultimately prove more important than any single headline generated by the event. But behind every public image lies another layer of reality. While audiences focused on tiaras, diamonds, and symbolism, King Charles III continued carrying the immense responsibility of leading an institution navigating modern challenges, changing public expectations, and ongoing scrutiny. The return of Catherine, Princess of Wales, undoubtedly strengthened public confidence, yet it also highlighted how carefully the monarchy must balance present leadership with future preparation. Maintaining that balance requires discipline, patience, and strategic decision-making that rarely becomes visible to the public. So before we continue, share your opinion in the comments below. Do you believe the growing popularity of Catherine, Princess of Wales, reflects a natural evolution within the royal family, or do you think recent events have accelerated public expectations surrounding the future queen? And if you are enjoying this royal documentary journey, be sure to subscribe to the channel because the next chapter takes us behind palace walls, where the quiet responsibilities of King Charles III reveal a hidden struggle between duty, continuity, and the immense pressure of protecting the monarchy's future in an era of constant change. As the glittering evening drew to a close, and the final photographs circulated across newspapers, television broadcasts, and social media platforms around the world, a fascinating reality began to emerge. The most talked about aspect of the event was not the diplomatic purpose of a state banquet, nor was it a major speech from King Charles III. Instead, the lasting image was Catherine, Princess of Wales, standing beneath the lights of Windsor Castle, wearing the lover's not tiara, carrying more than a century of royal history upon her shoulders. Yet perhaps the most remarkable aspect of the entire story is that no official explanation was ever offered. The monarchy allowed the image to speak for itself. But was that silence intentional, and could that silence have been the most powerful message of all? Throughout royal history, some moments become significant because of dramatic events, while other moments become significant because they symbolize a turning point. Many royal observers believe this appearance belongs firmly in the second category. After all, Catherine, Princess of Wales, was not introducing a new policy, announcing a constitutional change, or delivering a landmark speech. Catherine, Princess of Wales, was simply appearing in public. Yet because of everything surrounding the moment, including health challenges, recovery, renewed public duties, and growing anticipation surrounding the future reign of Prince William, the future king, that appearance seemed to represent something larger than the event itself. For many viewers, the image projected stability during a period when continuity remains one of the monarchy's greatest priorities. Do you think the public instinctively recognized that deeper symbolism the moment Catherine, Princess of Wales, entered the room? What makes the story even more compelling is how it highlights the unique nature of royal influence. In most institutions, authority is demonstrated through action, legislation, or executive decisions. Within the royal family, influence often operates through perception, symbolism, and public confidence. That is why a tiara can generate headlines around the world. That is why a brief interaction involving Queen Camilla and Catherine, Princess of Wales, can spark days of discussion. And that is why a carefully chosen appearance can sometimes communicate more effectively than an official statement. The monarchy survives not only because of tradition, but because of its ability to connect history, emotion, and public imagination into a single visual narrative that audiences immediately understand. Yet another important question remains unanswered. As Prince William, the future king, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, continue assuming increasingly prominent roles, what will the next chapter of the monarchy actually look like? King Charles III remains firmly at the center of the institution, carrying responsibilities that demand constant attention and careful leadership. However, public interest increasingly gravitates toward the generation that will eventually inherit those responsibilities. Every appearance by Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, reinforces that reality. Every successful engagement strengthens public familiarity with the future king and future queen. Could this gradual transition already be shaping expectations for the monarchy's next era long before any formal change occurs? Perhaps that is why this story continues, resonating long after the banquet ended. The evening offered a rare combination of history, symbolism, resilience, and anticipation. The lover's not tiara connected Catherine, Princess of Wales, to Queen Mary, Queen Elizabeth II, and Diana, Princess of Wales. The presence of Prince William, the future king, reinforced the image of continuity. The visibility of Queen Camilla highlighted the current reign's commitment to stability. Together, these elements created a moment that felt both rooted in the past and firmly focused on the future. In many ways, the event became a snapshot of the modern monarchy itself, balancing tradition with transition while carefully navigating public expectations. And perhaps that brings us back to the central question that started this entire story. Was Catherine, Princess of Wales, simply honoring royal tradition by wearing one of the monarchy's most famous tiaras? Or was Catherine, Princess of Wales, quietly signaling confidence, continuity, and readiness for the responsibilities that may one day define an entirely new royal era? As with many royal mysteries, the answer may depend on how each viewer interprets the symbolism. Now we would love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Catherine, Princess of Wales, was paying tribute to royal history, or do you think the appearance carried a deeper message about the future of the royal family? Did the reaction involving Queen Camilla reveal anything meaningful, or was the public reading too much into a brief moment captured on camera? Share your opinion in the comments below, because the most fascinating part of every royal story is hearing different perspectives from royal watchers around the world. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Catherine, Princess of Wales, Prince William, King Charles III, Queen Camilla, royal symbolism, and the future of the monarchy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and join us for more in-depth royal analysis, because the next royal development may already be unfolding behind palace walls, waiting for the world to notice.